Greeting everyone, we are Gemini 7. Today we're going to present you about Jira software. Our team member have me, Pimonporn, who will talk about the overview of Jira. Next is Mr. Napat, who will talk about Jira feature. Next is Mr. Mankaret, who will talk about the overflow of Jira software. And last two member is Mr. Hachapong and Miss Onpisha. They will present you a demo of Jira software. Now let's start with the overview of Jira. Jira is a proprietary issue tracking product developed by Atlassian that allows bug tracking and agile project management. Jira has offered in four platforms, which is Jira Core, Jira Software, Jira Service Management, and Obsidian. But in this presentation, our group will focus only on the Jira software. Jira software is a part of a family of products designed to help teams of all types manage work. Originally, Jira was designed as a bug and issue tracker. But today, Jira has evolved into a powerful work management tool for all kinds of use cases, from requirements and test case management to agile software development. Jira Software is an agile project management tool that supports any agile methodology, be in Scrum, Kanban, or your own unique framework. From agile board backlog, roadmaps, report to integration and adds-ons, you can plan, track, and manage all your agile software development projects from a single tool. Next, Mr. Napat will talk about software feature.
Thanks, Ms. Pimonporn. Now let's move to my topic, which is about the feature for Jira software development. Jira software is based on the Jira core platform. In that way, on Jira software, you will be provided with all the Jira core functionality, but you will be provided with the additional agile feature. There are four main features that they use it in Jira software development, which are the Scrum Board, Kanban Board, Roadmap, and Agile reporting. Next, for the first, let's start with the Scrum Board. The Scrum framework enables the software team to manage complex projects by creating a culture of collaboration. The Jira Scrum Board is the tool that unite the team around a single goal and promote iterative and incremental the delivery. Much more than a task board, the Agile Scrum Board functions to increase communication and transparency, promote sprint planning and iterative development, and improve the team focus on the organization. Second is the Kanban board. The Kanban is the common framework for Agile and DevOps software development that provides the transparency of work and team capacity. Kanban board in Jira software helps teams to visualize their workflow, limit work in progress, and maximize the efficiency. Much more than a task board, Jira Kanban board functions to promote the transparency, optimize firm workflow, easily the spot bottleneck, and continuously the improve. Third is about the roadmap. Next, roadmap in Jira software count the team level roadmap useful for the planning last piece of work several months in advance at the epic level within a single project. Simple the planning and dependency management feature help your team to visualize and manage work better together. Lastly is about the agile reporting. Next. Deliver the value to customer faster with real-time insight at your fingertip. Jira software enable team to make a data dividing decision with agile report, dashboard, and more. That is all about the feature. Next, Mr. Mankale will talk about the workflow.
Thank you, Mr. Napat, for explaining about the Jira features. Now, let's get to know the workflow of Jira. A Jira workflow is a set of status and transition that an issue moves through during its life cycle and typically represent process within your organization. There are built-in workflow that cannot be edited. However, you can copy and use this workflow to create your own. You can also create your own workflow from scratch or import from the Atlassian marketplace. Workflow can be associated with particular project and optionally specific issue type by using a workflow schema. As I mentioned before, the Jira workflow is a set of status and transition. A status represents the state of an issue at a specific point in a workflow. An issue can be only one status at a given point in time. When defining a status, you can optionally specify properties. A transition is a link between two status that enable an issue to move from one status to another. In order for an issue to move between two status, a transition must exist, and it consider a one-way link. So if an issue need to move back and forth between two status, two transition need to be created. Next is inactive and active workflow. There are slight difference between editing and inactive and active workflow. It has paid restriction on the modification you can make to make an active workflow. Due to the impact to change will have on the project and issue type by use this workflow. An inactive workflow is a workflow that is not currently being used by any project. Because there are no issue currently transitioning through an inactive workflow, you can edit the workflow step and transition directly. An active workflow is a workflow that is currently being used by one or more projects. When you edit an active workflow, Jira first creates a draft of it that you can then modify as you see fit. When you have finished, you can publish your draft and optionally save your original workflow as inactive backup. Next, Ms. Onvisha and Mr. Chachapong will show you how to use Jira.
Okay, we will now demonstrate Jira. Let's start with creating a project. There are two types of project. In this case, we're gonna choose classic project. And then we have to enter the project name. And set the key as the prefix of your project name, or you don't set anything because it will generate the key automatically from your project name, and you can select the template. And for this demonstration, we choose Scrum. And first of all, we found the active sprint page, but it has nothing, so we have to go to the backlog first. It has a feature list that has story, task, and bug, and we have to input it thing that we need to be done in this box. Assume that we create a project about application, so I choose story type about design, set up application, yes, sign up, log in, and for example, we found some bug that is user can log in via Facebook, and then we click create sprint. And like the story or budget, we have to focus on this sprint to this. And then click this button here. And we can set duration. It has 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, or you can custom on the decision. And for this case, I custom 1 month. And then click start. So it will redirect to active sprint again. And so you will see the workflow that are assigned a story in the first column, which is to do. The workflow should be the overall process set your team in order to get work done. By default, Jira Classic project has simple three-step workflow are to do, in progress, and done. And assume that we want to do set up application. So we're gonna drag and drop this story to in progress And after it already finished, we have to drag to done. And when we want to complete the sprint, but it had some story that we can finish it on time, it will be brought to the next sprint automatically. And moreover, we can set an epic and version, but we have to go back to the project and select the backlog again. And for the epic, we can create the epic, and for this case, I assume that about user identification and have summary is provide user to log in. And after that, we can drag story that involve user identification to this box. It have sign up, log in, and user can log in via Facebook. And so you can see in the right hand side it have user identification in story that we select. And next version, we can create version that we want. Assume that I create version 1. And I want to use this class of epic. So I drag story to version 1. And now in the right hand side, it will show this version 1 and user identification. And if we want to release the project, okay, we have to start sprint first. So it will redirect to active sprint. And if we want to release version 1, we have to done all story or bug that in this version. So after we finish, we can release it. But we have to finish this version before. And so I drag to done. And we go to the release page. So it will show you that green bar and release button. And after when you click release button, you can create a new version. Okay, next Mr. Shashapong will talk about Agile report and roadmap.
For the roadmap, we can create an epic. Just add the design. And you can also add some issue in the epic. Create prototype. Application. And we can set the duration for the epic. Like this. And you can hide some issue as well. Okay. You can switch the mode from the month to week, quarters, and you can change the color by click on the button on this card and change the color and attach file or share. Okay, let's move to the last feature, which is the report. So we're gonna show one of them. In this case, we're gonna use a burn down chart. This will show the sprint and the sprint start and issue completed and sprint end. Or in this point, it will show sprint start and issue completed, and this and another issue completed and final completed, and this will show a sprint ended in this time. Okay, that's all my presentation. I hope you enjoy with Jira.